Your heart is your subconscious mind. I want to talk about that today. I also want to talk with you guys a little bit about my experience. So I have been meditating for 35 days straight for an hour per day. I set this intention, I set this goal for myself, and I had been hearing all these benefits about meditation. I'm a huge Dr. Joe Dispenza fan, and I said there must be something to this. I'm going to commit to the work. I'm going to commit to doing this. That is what I did for 35 days straight. And I wanted to share my experience with you guys, as well as talk a little bit about emotional health and why it's so applicable to what you're experiencing with your physical body. This vessel, this meat suit, if you will, it's just carrying an energy that we have within us. So we have, our physical realm, but behind that are all these emotions that can make us feel sick, healthy, good, bad, whatever we feel. And that's really what it's about. We have these bodies, these vehicles, but it's really about the emotional well-being of yourself. So I want to share with you my journey, and I also want to share with you a little bit about things I see in practice, because a lot of these things I can't not talk about. I have people that come in with anxiety disorders, sleep disturbance, skin rashes that are of unknown origin, physical ailments that are not responding to conventional care. And we have to talk about the emotional health. We have to talk about the emotional health. That's something we're going to dive into today. So I have notes as per usual. I have some notes here. One of the things I want to talk about, so I meditated for 35 days straight. We'll start there. What was the intention with that? Why did I do that? Because I felt like I needed to get beyond my mind, beyond my analytical mind. And I was stirring and ruminating and in my head about thoughts. I felt like I was just overthinking this and going back to that conversation. And if I just said this different, or if I just did that different, or if, this person just said that, would things be different? And I was stuck in my analytical mind. I was stuck in my ego mind. I was stuck in my subconscious mind, programs, patterns, things that I was ruminating with. And I'm like, I need to be free. I felt literally like a prisoner in my own head with the thoughts of, I wasn't going anywhere with it. I wasn't feeling better from it. I wasn't finding things that were supporting me. I didn't feel like I was getting answers to things. It was like I was literally a hamster on a wheel, stirring my wheel and just running, but nothing felt different. So I started to say, okay, you have to tap into your body. You have to get out of your brain. You have to tap into your body. You have to do something different. You have to try something different, because what you're doing now is not helping you feel better. So I started to meditate, and I have done Dr. Joe Dispenza's guided meditations for the full time frame, the full 35 days. I only did his meditations on brain and coherence. And I even picked up You're the Placebo. I've read that many times, but I went back to rereading that book. Phenomenal book. My favorite book ever is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by him. The point is that I realized that thoughts are carrying vibrational energy. Thoughts are carrying vibrational energy. So when I'm telling myself thoughts, there's vibration there. There's a frequency that they're emitting. And I was not picking very good thoughts to tell myself. I was not really picking good thoughts. So I was going into my meditation with the intention that I really want to quiet my mind. I really want to connect to my heart, because I felt so much tightness here, so much stagnation. Like literally, I felt like somebody during an energy session was stepping on my heart with their foot, like literally, like I couldn't breathe. And I'm not the kind of person that I feel something and I run with it. And like, for example, hypochondriac, I don't have a symptom and then all of a sudden I'm dying 5 minutes later. That's just not my personality. So when I felt that heaviness, I really took that very seriously, because I am not someone that feels a lot of pain or has, these ailments. So I did my meditation, and I will tell you guys, the first 2 weeks, I was so frustrated. Like, I can't get out of my head. That's the point. I know a lot of people, they're like, but when I sit down to meditate, I can't get out of my head. That's the point. That's how you know you need the meditation, because you can't get out of your head. You're stuck in your head. You're stuck on all these thoughts. So you have to bring yourself back. When you feel like you're veering with this thought, you bring yourself back. You will be bringing yourself back thousands of times. At least I did. I was like, okay, go back. Okay, go back. Okay, go back. I was just going out into my head and not getting into my body. And we live in a very 3D reality. Everything is very linear. We live in a very three-dimensional reality. When you start to tap into meditation, you are literally going quantum. You are starting to tap into some very interesting different dimensions where you're pulling energy from higher level selves, if you will. And it's wild what can happen, even with everything happening right now. So I know that we have, I guess it's an eclipse that's coming where the two planets are going to be very close in alignment. And supposedly with this experience, with this happening, there's portals that are opening up in the universe. And I have been feeling the effects of all of this stuff, all of the energy. I'm a good sleeper. I haven't slept in a week. Like literally, I've been up 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock on my computer working because I'm like, I'm not sleeping. I'm racking my brain. I'm in bed and I'm not sleeping. And the energy has been very dense. If you are someone that feels energy pretty deeply, right now we're in it. I've been feeling all sorts of kooky things happening and weird things have been surfacing in my life. Very strange things. The point is that when you tap into this quantum realm where everything is potential and everything is possibility, you start to have weird things happen. That was my goal. So my goal was I really want to meditate. I really want to open and heal my heart. I really want to open this blocked channel for myself. I want to be able to call in the things that I want in my life and in love. And my soul has come onto this earth, and the difficult parts for me have been in relationships, primarily my romantic relationships, where I have a lot of blockages from my heart being closed, from my patterns, from my past that I'm trying to bring into awareness and heal them. So I've been on a lot of old subconscious programming and a lot of blocking people out and shutting down and pushing away and push and pull. And I've been acting out of ego. I typically have that happen in a lot of my relationships where I don't show up as my best self. And it's because my wounds and my trauma and the things that have happened. I don't even like to say my, because then I feel like I'm associated with it. They are mine, but they are pieces of me. They are not me. So I have been really wanting to, in this time, go inside myself and really use this time to connect to my heart and to tap into my subconscious patterns and create a more secure attachment and really get brutally honest about myself. This is not about anybody else. It's about how were you showing up? Where do you need to do your work, Elise? This has nothing to do with another person. I'm not the kind of person that puts blame on other people. All of my life is a creation of what has been happening for me in my being. So if I'm not manifesting the relationship that I want, I need to go to myself and say, what are you doing? What are you doing? This isn't about that person. This person, they have their own things. They have their own wounds. They have their own work that they need to do. Their soul picked their own things. And this relationship that I previously got out of has been a catalyst for growth. This person I love deeply. I will always love deeply. And it's been a catalyst for me to grow and to heal the pieces of me that I haven't been able to look at or want to. So that was the intention behind the meditation. And I did it for 35 days and I felt expanded and I felt like I'm starting to get to a place where I can see why my physical body felt so congested in my chest, like why that pressure was there. And things have been opening in my life and really been kind of strange. I've had a lot of weird energy happening the last couple days, but I just wanted to share with you guys. So I wrote some notes, what happened to me 35 days. I felt some massive shifts and I felt like I was actually clearing energy. I felt like all of my crap was coming up so that I could say, pop that bubble, like little bubbles. They were like little bubbles that were showing up and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. And I was working through those emotions and I realized that I have to surrender to what will be. I want with my brain to control. That's my temperament. I'm a very type A person and I have been wanting to control and think. And if I could just think my way out of this, if I can just figure out why this happened, if I can just reread messages, if I could just go back in time, if I should have said that, if I could be different. Those thoughts are all not serving and they're all ego and they're all control, which control is an illusion. It's an illusion. It's so crazy, but I had to get out of that. I had to get out of that. So the meditation allowed me a little bit of flexibility and a little bit of freedom to connect inside my body, because our subconscious and our unconscious mind, it doesn't live here. It's in your body, it's in your soma. So somatic experiencing work, somatic therapy work, that's been something I've been delving into as well. The issues are in your tissues. So for anybody that's going through anything right now, they have a physical, tangible ailment. It's not deriving likely from a physical, tangible problem. It's coming from an emotion, and that emotion carries a frequency. So there are different emotions that we look at that carry certain energies, and the emotions are coming from feelings. Thoughts also can play a little bit of a role into the emotions that we choose. But when we're having and picking low vibrating emotions, we can become sick. We can become stuck with panic. What is a panic attack? A lot of people that come to see me for help, they're dealing with anxiety, they're dealing with sleep disturbance. Panic attacks are something that can happen. It's a subconscious program. A panic attack is that you've trained in your brain has trained a pattern, a neurologic pattern that keeps you in a loop. And it's running the pattern. We are running unconscious programs like little beings, and it's so wild when you start to become aware of some of this stuff. You look at people and you're like, wow, I can see this. I can see them being a little bit in their program. And so panic attacks, anxiety disorder, sleep disturbance, it's programs. It's your subconscious mind trying to heal. But with your analytical mind, you cannot heal. You have to get into the body. You have to get into the heart. You have to get into the tissues. And meditation allows and is the portal to be able to do that. So that's really important to know that. And I just want to make sure I'm covering everything. So something that I found very helpful too is I was laying on my back for all of the meditations. They do say you can sit up for them. There is something that I learned through somatic techniques that when you're on your back, you are in a very vulnerable position. So when you lay on your back, you become very vulnerable. It's a very vulnerable position where, you're not ready, you're not waiting to attack, you're cruising on your back. So I meditated for 35 days on my back, and that allowed me to really just calm my nervous system down to begin with. I was actually practicing that technique a little bit before the meditation because things would come up and I was trying to basically help my brain calm down, help the trigger calm down. So when I would feel something come up, I would lay on my floor on my back. And it happened once with a friend of mine, and she was like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, I just need 5 minutes on my back. It automatically takes you out of like that fight, flight, freeze mode. It automatically pulls you out when you lay on your back. It's very cool. So I did my meditations all on my back. I would encourage you guys to do that as well, because I felt like it was very therapeutic and helpful to just calm my nerves, calm my sympathetic nerves, and then get into my body. And the amount of times that you have to choose a better thought or choose something different it's like infinite. Your brain wants to take you here. Your brain, think about how old you are. They say that by the time you're 35 years old, 95% of your thoughts are subconscious, which means that they're in your past. You're pulling thoughts from your past. So every day you're thinking in the past. And you have to get beyond that. How do you get beyond that? Meditation is that portal that can help to access getting beyond your analytical self, getting beyond the control, getting beyond the wanting to control the outcomes. And something I also thought was really interesting was that I was meditating and I wanted to tap into all this stuff, but you have to do business with the things that show up. You can't take the back route, or I guess what I'm trying to say is that you can't just meditate and life is honky-dory. You can't just say, I'm going to meditate today and I'm going to just, tap in, but not look at the trauma, not look at the work. You have to do the work. You have to do business with all of the things that come up for you to clear them. So, for example, I don't feel good enough about something. I have to do business with that thought. I have to really get comfortable. Why? I feel whatever might come up for you. I feel angry with myself that I didn't handle this in a certain way. You have to do business with that thought. You have to really get into, well, where is the anger coming from? Is this something that you've done before? Are you someone that when relationships start to look a little bit difficult, you just dip out? That's just your program. You've learned when things feel a little bit, this isn't looking so good, you dip out. If so, you have to look there. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the meditation allows for expanding your mind and getting into your body, but you still have to do the work. It's not like because I meditate, problems are better and life is good and I'm able to just be someone different. No, I still have to put my work in. I still have to look within myself and where I am not free. I still have to look at the parts of me that I have been bringing up into this relationship. I have to look at the pieces of me that aren't serving me or aren't highest for my good, for my partner's good. So it's like really getting into the work plus the meditation. Repetition plus emotion helps to heal. So repetition plus emotion, pulling better emotions really, really helped. I would absolutely recommend if you're someone struggling with panic, anxiety, limiting beliefs, challenge them. You're going to go through it. You're going to start to really, wow, I pushed this person away. I wasn't supportive for myself. I didn't honor that my feelings mattered. I was so worried about them and not wanting to make them upset with me that I didn't show up with my feelings. And when someone loves you, they care about you. They want to know your feelings. They don't get defensive. They don't get like, this is yours to hold. They want to embrace you and say, honey, I love you. What's happening for you? So it's almost like you tear down your walls of what you need and you lean in when it feels hard. You lean in. Something that I learned through doing a lot of the meditation was a program I was running was when things felt difficult, I would want to get out of Dodge. I was like, this feels, my physical nervous system was like this Christmas tree. It was lit up. It was like boom, boom, boom. And I only knew through patterns that gotta go. You gotta remove yourself from this experience. That was what I learned. Wrong town, wrong turn, however you want to say it. So I had to repattern myself to say, when you feel upset, when you feel anxious, when you feel really triggered, what are you going to do instead? You get to co-create this. If you're not showing up for yourself, how do you expect someone to show up for you? So I had to really get nitty gritty with, when my wounds come up, I have to learn that I need to be able to regulate and self-regulate myself, which was something I didn't really learn how to do when I was younger. I just kind of left the situation. We all do that. We fight, flight, freeze, fawn. We leave, we shut down. We don't communicate our needs to our partner. We don't tell them what's true for us. We just go into our pattern because that's all we've learned. And it's not bad. You can't judge yourself or shame yourself for the patterns. They served you at one point. But if you want to create a conscious life, and for me, my goal is to create a conscious relationship with a beautiful, open man who is expressive and who can communicate to me all of the deep fears and all of the emotions and not have the ego and not have the fear, and someone that's like, honey, I messed up. I'm sorry, or I really want to talk about this. I feel like that was a difficult thing for us, or I didn't support you. I want to go there with you, or myself included. Honey, I messed up. I didn't listen to you. I want to know what you're feeling. So that's my work. That's the driving force behind this, is that I want to show up better. But when you're in the meditation, you start to look at your programs and you start to say, ooh, it's not a good program. It's not helping me. We all say that we want things. We're like, we want this thing, but we really don't get nitty gritty with how do I embody getting that thing? What do I have to do different? So if you just, come out of situations and just don't do anything about looking at yourself, you're going to do that situation again. It's going to happen again. You can leave 25 different people, but guess what? You're still with yourself. And until you look at your pattern and look at what you do and how you show up and what's not free for you and where your limiting beliefs are and how you showed up in this, and put your ego aside and open the wounded pieces of you to heal them. Until you do that, you're going to be running the same programs. And meditation for me has allowed me to explore what those are. I don't know that I've had chances to actually put a lot of them to use. The new programs, there have been situations that I have definitely been like, wow, I did that so different. I handled that so different. But I really do want to keep challenging myself to say, okay, that pattern, doesn't serve you. You've reprogrammed it through repetition plus emotion. Repetition plus emotion, repetition plus emotion. You are retraining your subconscious mind. I just wanted to share that with you guys, that if you're dealing with anything from a physical ailment, panic, anxiety, limiting beliefs, blockages, energetic blockages with anything in your life, relationships, children, you're butting up against people that you love deeply and you're not sure why you can't connect with them. The reason why is because you're on a pattern, and the pattern has to be broken for you to break free and to say, okay, I don't want that anymore. That's my old self. And so I would really encourage meditation. Like I said, Dr. Joe Dispenza's work is all of my favorite work. I love him, and I'm so grateful for the work that he does. He is he's just pure love and pure light, and so amazing. So tapped in, tuned on, and I love it. So I would definitely recommend that if you're new to this work and are like, this sounds like something I could really start to put into my vibration, into my field, so that I can heal these things and I can really expand myself and get out of my ego, get out of my program, get out of my limiting beliefs, get out of my analytical mind, get out of my perfectionism, get out of my I want to be right, get out of my defense, get out of my control, so that you can blossom and love someone and be loved. Check him out. I feel like I should be endorsed by him. That's all, guys. If you have questions or your experiences, I would love to hear from you guys how how your journey has been with meditation or mindset, or anything that you've experienced that's been difficult. This year has been a very difficult year, very transformative year, very reflective year. I'm very interested to hear your lessons and things that you've struggled with, and really where you want to do your work. Like, tell me what thing you want to do your work on. Like, I want to be better at this thing because I know I do XYZ. Drop it down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Much love. Sending you guys much love.